All our panniers have double-folded corners and inverted trays to increase strength and durability. Metal Mule, engineered to be different. Proud sponsors of the bike reviews on Adventure Bike TV.
All the viewers of Adventure Bike TV will know that we like to explore the extremes of adventure motorcycle. Now, if you were going to start to create the ideal dual sport and enduro motorcycle, you probably want to think about something that had a medium-sized engine that was not too big and was pretty light. It's not what BMW did. They sat in a room and they said, we want to create that bike, but we want it to be fast, so we need a big engine. And we do want it to be light. They created the HP2. Now, for a bike like this, we couldn't take it just anywhere to test it. So we've come to Wales to the Sweet Lamb Adventure Riding Academy.
Back in 1981, BMW allowed a group of company off-road riding anoraks to cobble together a boxer-motored 6-day trials racer. This Skunk Works group created the R80 GS, which of course gave birth to the all-conquering GS series of bikes. Almost 25 years later, another Skunk Works group of anoraks took the quarter-ton 1200 GS and decided they could make a proper enduro bike from it. The HP2 Enduro was born. This is no GS with a few flash bolt-ons and carbon fibre bits to save weight. The telelever front suspension is gone, replaced by conventional WP upside-down telescopic forks with more travel than the telelever could provide. And of course, there's adjustable compression and rebound damping. The rear uses an air shock, which has no spring or oil, delivering 9.8 inches of travel. Setup and adjustment is simple. Take a look at the onboard ride height checker and adjust the rear shock using the onboard hand pump. Weight is down to well below 200 kilos and power is up 5 horsepower over the GS 1200 of 2005. They even save weight by removing the balancer shaft, which can make it a trifle vibey. So this is no cosmetic makeover job. It's a full arms and legs upgrade, followed by an Atkins level weight loss regime and a strengthened heart to boot. Riding this bike is a unique experience. I've obviously become a total softie, used to the soft touch and feel of modern clutch and ride-by-wire. Pulling back on the throttle and clutch of the HP2 reminds you of the old school feel. It also reminded me of how much effort was required, and my wrists felt like they were stretched piano wires. So I needed to hand the bike over to a man that could cut the mustard. This is Mark Molyneux. He owns this HP2 and has 45 years of racing experience. This man knows how to ride, and he is going to show us what this bike can really do. As you can see, Mark is fast. He's very fast. In fact, it's pretty hard to see what's going on, so let's slow it down just a bit. This bike had the suspension set up really hard, so there was very little give when you sat on it. But once you got going, you could see where those Skunk Works anoraks were heading. This bike is easy to ride, but that's a bit like saying a digital SLR camera is easy to use. Sure, you can point and shoot, but to use it properly you've got to really know your mustard. And do you ever have to know your mustard on this bike? You also need testicles the size of basketballs. There is no doubt that BMW created something unique with the HP2 Enduro. It will ride the tarmac for sure, but its heart is 150% on the trails.
I remember back in the day, and I mean really, really back in the day, there was an advert that I read for the Suzuki RG500, and it read, "Nutters only need apply. Nutters only need apply." Unfortunately, it was for the wrong bike. It should have been for this bike. It is a mentalist. I mean, on paper, it really, really shouldn't work. It's 185 kilos, 120 horsepower, with that great big boxer engine. It just shouldn't work. But somehow it really, really does. It is astonishing, but it is a complete mentalist. And in my hands, I mean, I barely scraped the edges of what this bike is capable of. And when you saw Mark riding it, you see what it really can do. It is an utter monster. But it's astonishing, and I really loved it. However, would I have one of these in my garage? No way. I mean, just no way. Not because it's not brilliant, because it is. It's just, I can't even begin to scrape what this bike is capable of. However, I can completely understand why Mark's got one.
Our panniers have a double thick rim at the base, keeping damage from the inevitable bumps, scrapes and offs to the outside of the pannier. Metal Mule, engineered to be different. Proud sponsors of the bike reviews on Adventure Bike TV.